What is up? I'm gonna attempt to make a YouTube video on doing this for the first time. And this that I am doing is replacing the coolant reservoir on my 2003 Mazda B2300. Which, for the people that do not know, this is practically a Ford Ranger with Mazda emblems. It actually even has a lot of Ford badging, so that's pretty cool. You don't see a whole lot of these. As you can tell, you'll see throughout the video, there's a lot of things that this thing needs. But yeah, my goal here is I'm fixing this up to make it my daily driver, so I'm doing like basic maintenance things to make sure that it's more reliable and safe. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I am no professional. I am not a actual mechanic. I'm just a girl that likes to do shit herself. So that is what I'm gonna be doing today. I'm just gonna be documenting the process. So sorry if this makes anyone cringe. I just thought it'd be kind of fun because I like watching these videos and I don't see a whole lot of girls doing this stuff. So I thought, why not do it myself? Even if I get like 5 viewers. So let's do it. Alright, first things first, I'm going to go ahead and begin draining all of the current coolant that is in the truck. Yeah. Alright, so I can tell now that I'm underneath here that this is definitely a aftermarket radiator, which is fine. I mean, this is 2003 truck, so I think I'm just gonna go over there to the lower radiator hose and pop it off and just drain it that way. I'm sure there's a way I could do this, but I thought it's supposed to be like a little, what they call it, petcock, I believe. Maybe I did butcher that, and then that's what you crack loose and it drains out of here. I could really just try putting a big socket on that, but that's plastic, and plastic is brittle, and I don't know how long this has been on here, and I don't want to, you know, break anything, so I'm just going to take off the lower radiator hose, because that's what I feel comfortable doing. I will say that is not the cleanest or smoothest way to do this, but it's definitely draining as we speak. And I have a small bucket, and when it gets full, I'm gonna put it over in there, that big bucket. Yep, got it draining. As you can see, this thing's rough. You can still hear the coolant kind of dripping out, but there's not really any left in the reservoir, just like a little small amount that you can see won't make it out. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start unbolting this thing and start slipping the hoses off. Not gonna lie, the hoses were quite a pain in the butt to slide off, but I got them off. As you can see, okay, no, my drink. This one is toast. Like, you can literally rub your hand on it and it's just disintegrating. This is a new one, or the new one. So yeah, about to slap it back on and fill it up and flush air out. All right, now that I got all the hoses back on, I'm gonna be putting it in this cleaner. Good like that. I would be putting it into the radiator cap, but like I said, this is aftermarket, and for some reason this aftermarket one does not have a cap on the top. So I'd imagine this will be just fine. After this, I'm gonna make sure it's topped off where it should be. I'm gonna start the truck up, put the heat on high, full blast, and let it run for 10 minutes while keeping an eye on the temp gauge and my level of coolant. And making sure we don't run hot, and also making sure we have enough fluid in our system. I will be spilling a lot of this. Alright, I apologize if the quality looks really bad now. That's because I had to swap to Snapchat because it said my storage was too full and it's let me record on here, but not, whatever, that doesn't matter. So I know that this system takes right at 11 quarts. Yeah, it's 11 quart system. The manual transmission takes 11, automatic takes right at 10. And I've already put in about, let's see, put in 1 jug, and about half of one. So I know that it's gonna take more as soon as I crank it up. It's already at the, or below the minimum line, as you can see. So about to give it the first crank, and as soon as I do that, I'm gonna come over here and watch all the air come out of the system while leaving the cap off, so the air can come out of the system like I just said. Ignore the interior. It's a project truck, okay? But you're gonna want to put it on high heat as far as you can go, full blast. But yep, I can't tell that it's not, looks like it's staying at a certain level, so I'm gonna say that's a good thing. The level gauge looked like it hasn't moved, so I also haven't had it going for a long time, but it's definitely warm in here with the heat on. Okay, at this point I've just been waiting to see what the temperature is gonna read on the gauge. It's still at cold. I haven't had the truck on long yet, so I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it. The fluid looks like it's no longer bubbling and is staying at a solid level, so we'll just kind of see. I'm just trying to get it at operating temperature, that way, you know, everything in its system can activate and coolant will start flowing and cleaning everything. Well, water in the cleaner will start going through the system. So yeah, now it's just the waiting game. Alright, ignore all the lights on my dash. We're finally getting a reading on the dash. It's staying where it needs to. I'm gonna let it run for probably a little while longer, just to make sure that it's fine, and just to let that cleaner properly clean. So, but also, this was what came out of it. Ignore all the debris. That was just because the bucket itself was dirty. But what I was saying was that was the coolant that came out of it, and I don't think that looks bad at all, actually. It looks kind of new. So that being said, I think this will only be the flush I'll have to do, just based on what the cleaner does to the system and how dirty it may actually be. So now is the waiting game, but I'm glad we're finally getting a reading. I was getting a little nervous on that because it was taking forever. Alright, I turned the truck off, and then when I did that, it started to drink more coolant. Well, I keep saying coolant, but it's water in the cleaner. It went below minimum just a little, so I topped it off. I could hear it like kind of drinking it, but now it's staying at the same level that I kept it at for a few minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and crank it up again just to see if there is any more air in the system. I'm not entirely sure why it would drink more after I turned off the truck. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic, so I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna try to figure out why. Just gonna do my own research and see what I come up with. Alright, the truck is now cooled off, so I've already drained the cleaner and distilled water out of it. I've put the radiator hose back on, filled it up with just the distilled water, and it's took 2 jugs and about a quarter of a third one. It's staying at the max level. It looks like the air is out of it. At this point, I'm just waiting for it to get to running temperature. It's starting to warm up a little bit. But like I said, I'm just doing the process over like I did the very first time that I put the cleaner in. Let it get to running temperature, let it cool, drain it, inspect how it looks. If this runs clean, then I'm gonna put the last and final just coolant in it, and then we'll be done. Okay, it's now the next day, and unfortunately the remainder of the clips that I had got deleted somehow. So basically everything is good. Something I did want to show was this was from the first initial drain. That's what came out of it. Like I said, it really does not look bad at all. This was, oh, there's a tick. Anyways, that was from the first flush that has the cleaner in it as well. And then this one right here is from the last one, the last flush, which as you can see is extremely clean. So after that I decided it was good to just go ahead and put the coolant in there. I just topped off a little bit. I test drove it yesterday. It did great. It didn't overheat. Stayed where it needed to. It went down just a little bit, so I just topped it off just now. But honestly, that was not that bad. Really, it was just time consuming. That was the only thing that took long, or that was hard, was that it took forever to let it warm up to operating temp, and then you would have to let it cool, drain it. But luckily I didn't have to flush it that many times, because as you could see, it was not that dirty. So that concludes my video. And sorry I don't have a lot of footage from me doing a whole lot of the work. It's because it got deleted. So, but I say job pretty well done. Deuces.